Good morning. These are your BYU-Idaho radio morning headlines for Wednesday, March 5th, 2025. Thanks for listening. I'm Brianna Latouche. Ensign College is making changes to its academic calendar. On May 5th, Ensign College will move from 14-week to 7-week semesters. The college is sponsored by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The hope is that the new schedule will provide more flexibility and improve the student experience while also aligning the schedule with that of BYU Pathway Worldwide. President Bruce C. Cush says the change comes after years of development and fine-tuning. According to the Church News, a school that made a similar change in 2017 reported a 7.1% increase in student retention rate. This month, Idaho's lakes and ponds will be stocked with 60,000 catchable-sized rainbow trout. Small ponds to larger reservoirs will be stocked, and Idaho Fish and Game is bringing trout to accessible, family-friendly fishing locations, many of which are easy to reach and perfect for beginners. You can fish in most Idaho waters year-round. A fishing license costs around $30 for adults, $16 for juniors, and it's free for kids under 14. Some of the most popular spots getting stocked include American Falls Reservoir, where 18,000 rainbow trout will be released once the ice clears, and Bannock Reservoir, which will get 1,000 trout. Edson Fichter Pond and Crystal Springs Pond are also stocking spots. Other highlights include Gem Lake near Idaho Falls, Hayden Creek Pond in the high desert, and Kids Creek Pond and Salmon, which will all provide anglers with plenty of fishing opportunities this month. For more information, get your hands on the 2025-2027 Idaho Fishing Seasons and Rules booklet to check for specific regulations. This Friday, Vallow Daybell will tell her side of the story on national TV. Daybell is in jail in Arizona, where she awaits her trials on 2 separate counts of conspiracy to commit murder for the death of her 4th husband, Charles Vallow, and the attempted murder of her once nephew, Brandon Boudreaux. EastIdahoNews.com reports the first of the trials is scheduled for March 31st. The second will come after the first is finished. Keith Morrison with NBC'S Dateline interviewed Daybell in jail. A video teasing the upcoming 2-hour episode shows some of the back and forth between the two.
You're the most hated mom in America.
I heard that.
Are you misunderstood?
Absolutely.
I'm asking you a question. Did you watch your children die?
That's a really sad question.
You've made the decision to meet me for an on-camera interview because...
You've heard a lot of stuff, Keith. What I tell you will be the truth.
You'll remember Daybell was sentenced to life in prison in 2023 for the murders of her children, J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan, as well as the murder of her 5th husband's first wife, Tammy Daybell. Her husband, Chad Daybell, was also convicted in their deaths last year and was sentenced to death. Despite the sentences, Lori says one day they'll be out of prison.
Chad was convicted and he's on death row now.
I understand that, yeah.
But
They have some fascinating stories.
How could you possibly think that Chad would be exonerated after what happened?
The same way I will be exonerated. We will both be exonerated in the future.
Because?
I have seen things in the future that Jesus showed me when I was in heaven. And we were not in jail. And we were not in prison. And they were still in the future from now.
EastIdahoNews.com reports Rexburg Police Detective Ray Hermosillo, Madison County Sheriff Ron Ball, Madison County Prosecutor Rob Wood, retired FBI agent Douglas Hart, Lori's son Kobe Ryan, and Nate Eaton will also be on the episode. It airs this Friday on NBC at 8 p.m. and will be available for streaming the next day on Peacock. These have been your BYU-Idaho Radio Morning Headlines for March 5th, 2025. Thanks for tuning in. More news, interviews, and great content are available on our podcast feed. Search for BYU-Idaho Radio on your favorite podcast apps. We're on SoundCloud, Spotify, and Stitcher. You can also ask your smart speakers to play KBYI 94.3 FM. Have a great day. This is BYU-Idaho Radio, and I'm Brianna Latouche.